friends, welcome back to Barbara John's Stitching with Grammy. It's been a very long time, and I thank you guys all for hanging out there with me, waiting on me to get my poop in a group and get back to Flosstube. It's been a while. I think the last time I made a video was in October. Most of you read my Instagram post that I put the beginning of November. I haven't talked publicly. I've posted that on my social media, but I haven't really talked publicly about what's happened. And I don't want to get into all the detail, and he said, she said, and name names and all that, but you guys know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about, and I just cannot believe that someone can treat another human being that way. And you know, every year a lot of people choose a word of the year, and this year my word of the year is going to be kindness, because I was not shown kindness. And when you watch my videos, what you get is 100% authentic. The way you see me here on this video is the exact same way you're going to see me if we sit together at a stitchy table or a Zoom room or whatever. I don't pretend to be somebody that I'm not, and I definitely do not take someone else's ideas and present them as my own. For the most part, this community is a loving, welcoming, supportive community, and I found out just who my supporters are in the past couple months. But yeah, just be aware that what you see on Flosstube is not always how people actually are. And for those of you that have reached out to me and shared similar stories dealing with this particular individual, thank you for your support. Thank you for reaching out and sharing the common issues that we've had. I don't want to dwell on it. It was very devastating to me that another human being can treat somebody the way that I was treated, and the way that they portray themselves to be kind. No, that's not kind. How I was treated was not kind at all. So it's behind me. New year, we're moving on. Okay? So, Stitching with Grammy, Flosstube number 14. I'm going to do a finish parade, and I'm going to do the New Year's Eve 12 by 12. And I'm going to show you my 12 projects that I am going to be working on New Year's Eve, which is actually tomorrow. So hopefully I can get this done and uploaded, so, you know, that we can get going and you can see what I'm going to be working on. If you haven't picked your projects, go. You still got time. You still got, 12 hours to get ready to go. It's about 11 p.m. as I'm filming this on the day before New Year's Eve. But anyway, so I am going to, sorry, I'm jiggling the table. I'm going to get started. I'm going to try to give you my finishes that went on a field trip. They're home now. So I'm just going to go through my finishes. I'm going to try to do them on the order of how I finish them, if I can remember, and show you some of the new ones that I've got done and finished since these went on a field trip and came home. So, let's just get started. Some of them I don't have the patterns. I didn't pull the patterns on all of them, but some of them I do. But I'll try to tell you as we go. So, the first one I did, this is the very first pillow that I put together after I got back into stitching. I started stitching again in November of 2020. So I was stitching, and I decided to get, brave, and I watched tons of Vanna Pfeiffer's finishing videos. And this particular, I think this is stitched on a 36 or 40 count vintage country mocha, and it's a Lizzie Kate pattern. that the first three letters are the same as her pattern. I like the M. I didn't like the one on her pattern, so I repeated this in a different color. I designed the little E with the tulip, and then I changed up the R a little bit. So these two are adjusted. These are from her pattern. This is just repeated. But anyway, I put it in the back with this pink and green and yellow fabric. So I decided to make my own cording using the Vonna Pfeiffer video, and how to, there we go, how to make your own cording. So that's what I did for this. This was one of my very first pillows, and it's nice and stuffed, really stuffed hard. So that's the first one. I don't know where I'm going to put all these. Then I decided I got into Plum Street samplers, and it was in the spring, so I thought, okay, spring has sprung. And you notice the little snowman in here? And the snowflakes that go around the birds. I live in Michigan, and when spring has sprung, I don't want to see any snowmen. So I took the liberty of making some adjustments, and I took the snowman out, and I kind of repeated this quilting star a few times over here in a smaller version. Took out all the snowmen and the snowflakes. There we go. And I adjusted it a little. I also, the words to me looked really spread out, so I kind of squished them together a little bit. Spring has sprung. And I have just some jute, and this is kind of a flat fold, only it's not one that stands up. It's just got 2 layers of stuff that it's hooked on, and I just kind of set it up on a tray or on a shelf or something. But that spring has sprung. That's that pattern. Then I was doing a Brenda Gervais pattern, and this is on an 18 count like fiddler's cloth. And this is before I really got into linen. I'd love to stitch this again on linen, but in the meantime, this is, I have it on, it fit on here perfectly. There's thread hanging off everything. So this is But First Coffee. It's Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And this is one of the first ones of these that I finished of her patterns. And I think it was an 18 count fiddler's cloth, or fiddler's Ada, or whatever they call it. So that was that one. I think then we got into Christmas time. And I think this was, I was working on this in July for one of the cross stitch camps with Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher. And this is And to All a Good Night by Priscilla and Chelsea, Stitching with the Housewives. And if you notice, it's the shirt I have on. I really like this because it's just like this first project of theirs that I finished. And this, usually I have it up there. This Christmas I had it sitting up here with all my other vintage Pyrex that I have in this cabinet here. It's on that easel. But this is my And to All a Good Night. And I did this on a 28 count Monaco that I dyed black using the synthetic RIT dye, because it turns out really, really super dark. Well, actually, you know what? I take this back. I take that back. This was before I started doing the dyeing. So this is a 28 count Jobelan, I believe. And the Santa that I put in the center, I made that out of Sculpey clay. I usually put pins on them and make like lapel pins. I made those for all of my staff, and I gave them in their Christmas cards when I was working for a different office at the state of Michigan. I gave all my employees one of those on their Christmas card. So I had a bunch of them left. So I thought, oh, he looks really cute up in the center. But this is Into All a Good Night by Priscilla and Chelsea. So then I was on a Christmas kick and decided to keep going. This is on 28 count Monaco that I dyed with the Tropical Teal, I believe it's called. And this pattern is called Ho Ho Ho. And it's again by the Stitching with the Housewives. And I dyed the 28 count Rit dyed synthetic dye, so it really takes the color on the Monaco. And this is just a tag that I got, I think at Hobby Lobby, not Hobby Lobby, Home Goods or Marshalls or TJ Maxx, one of those. They have these wooden like gift tags with the little jute on it. So there's my little ho ho ho, Santa and his jammies. So I was still going on this kick on Christmas. And this is another Priscilla and Chelsea Fraser Fur. And this, I saw them again this year, but they weren't as dark. They were more muted colors. But I found this at Rite Aid, of all places. In their little Christmas decoration area, they had these, and I thought that was perfect to put as a finish for this little guy. You'll see one of the other patterns with the wooden sides soon on this video. But anyway, there's my Fraser Fur from Stitching with the Housewives. Let's see, where do we go from there? I think then this is a Buffalo Plaid. This was at the Stitch Etc. retreat that was in September. The year before those Christmases were done. This was done in that September. And it was an exclusive for that retreat. This was the finishing from Stitch Etc. And Priscilla signed the back of it. And all these items were in the finishing kit at the retreat. And this I did stitch on a 28 count Monaco that I dyed with the synthetic black. This was the first piece that I used that I dyed because what they sent us as part of our kit to stitch, it was really light. So these kitties didn't really show up. So I got some really dark dyed. And I think this is so cute. So that was, I think that was in July. No. And then Christmas, I'm trying to get these in order, but I'm not. Not quite 100% sure. But February, I went to, I think it was in February, the first stitch retreat with the Steel City Stitchers. And Hello from Liz Matthews sent the pattern, and we had a finishing kit that they provided there, so you could finish it if you wanted to at the retreat. Well, because I stitched mine on a 46 count, mine came out really small, and so this is the size of the backer they gave us. And if I would have just put this on here, on this piece, my borders would have been way too wide. So I decided I would take the pieces home, bring them home, and I finished it myself. This board was painted. This is another one to put this on. So instead I used the black fabric that I used in the project bags that I made for the Steel City Stitcher gals with their names on them, and Crafty Kara made the decals for me on her Cricut. Anyway, so I used that fabric, so it had a border of that fabric, and then I just put, there's a little rickrack here, little black rickrack all around, and then I just use a piece of sticky board and some batting to make it kind of puffy. And that's the finish for the Steel City Stitchers Retreat piece from 2022. And I'm very excited. I can't wait to go to the retreat. They put pushed it back to the end of March. Hopefully there won't be inclement weather. Last year there was a huge ice storm, so there's some people who weren't able to come. So hopefully everybody will be able to attend this year. And I am the exclusive project bag vendor for that retreat. So I gotta get busy and start sewing project bags. So that was the finish for that. So while I was there at that retreat, I started Love Notes because it was in February. It was still around, you know, Valentine's time. I think it might have been the weekend before Valentine's Day, I think. But anyway, I started this. This is another Brenda Gervais. It's in the pattern Love Notes, and it's I Love You a Latte. And I stitched this on a 40 count Jody fabric. She doesn't name her colors, but it's a 40 count Verdal, I believe, and it's so pretty. Pinks, and you know I like pink. So I stitched that up. So that's another one of the patterns that she has in a cup. There's quite a few of them. So that was at that retreat. So then I think this was another project that I started in the summer. It might have been another Camp Cross Stitch project. I can't remember. But this is Little House Needleworks, the Stitching Bee. I'm sorry for the glare. Little House Needleworks, the Stitching Bee. And I finished this pillow. Got some black rickrack and some honeycomb looking, and then it's a black fabric on the back. I've got things that I'm gonna sew on the back of these. I don't have the one for this one, but I haven't sewn the back and put the little things on the back. So that's that one. I love how that turned out. And I think I stitched this too on a 40 count vintage country mocha, but I don't really like that fabric because I fight with the white. I struggle with the whites to show up. And I think these weren't showing up as well, and I think I might have changed it out to sulky for these so they would pop better, if I remember correctly. But that was the Stitching Bee. And then I also, at the same time, decided to use I think this is a 25 count Lugana, because I wanted a pattern, a project that I could stitch 100% in hand and try to teach myself how to do that. And so I was very successful at this, taught myself how to do it, and it turned out pretty good. I can't do it on linen, but the 28 count I did pretty well. But this is Heart and Hand, the Coffee Bird, and this is my project. This is how it turned out. Whoopsie. And I just used some homespun that I've had in my stash forever. Little rickrack on the side. I'm gonna sew this heart on the back to cover where I cut it, because I do the method where you sew all the way around and then you make a slit to stuff it and then you stitch it up, and then I'm gonna put, you know, like a heart and then do some other embellishments on the back. I just hadn't had time to do it because they had gone on a field trip. Well, they're home now, so I can update them. So that's Coffee Bird. That's that one. And then another one that I did kind of at the same time as I did those is another Heart and Hand. And I'm digging for something. I'm going to show you a little bit of haul at the same time as I do this, because this is called the Redbird Sampler. And I stitched this on a 40 count truffle by Picture This Plus. So it's kind of like a pink mottled. It doesn't really look pink. I have a little gray rickrack. You can just barely see the tips of it. A little gray fabric. Some more gray in the back. I pulled the stitching, I think, too tight on that. So I'm gonna get some more felt and do some embellishing on the back of this too. But this is 40 count truffle by Picture This Plus, and this is Lancaster red is the color that I used to stitch this red bird. So I love this. I decided that I would get, and there, sorry for the glare, this is the Bluebird sampler by Heart and Hand, and the Hummingbird sampler also by Heart and Hand. And I think they have an old crow, and they have a turkey, I think, in these little series. And I thought these would be cute, all in little, you know, various shades of Picture This Plus, in a little bowl, all the little bird things together. And so I got the floss to do the Hummingbird and the Bluebird. I got 2 skeins of Chesapeake Bay for the Bluebird, which is the called for. And then for the Hummingbird sampler, it calls for Weeping Willow. And I know these colors don't look like it on these patterns, but that's what they said. So I pulled those out. I ordered those from Fat Quarter Shop, I believe, because they had some heck of a sales. I tell you what, before Christmas, Black Friday, there's a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not going to show you all of my haul because I got a lot, but I got some things I'm going to show you here in a little bit. So those are some patterns I got to go with that. And I do have, I didn't bring the other one out here, with the Coffee Bird, I also have the Quilting Bird, and there's one called the Stitching Bird. So I have those 2 patterns that I'm going to do like I did the Coffee Bird. So there's that. I'm just making this big old pile. I also had some fall that I decided to get going on, some fall. This was this fall. Let me see. First I got to show you this one. This was a retreat that was at Tomorrow's Heirlooms. Priscilla and Chelsea were there. And this is looking really messy, this basket. It's been, you know, on a field trip and back, so it's been kind of messed up. But this is the first of the Ride a Bike series. Let's Go Ride a Bike. This was the first one that Priscilla and Chelsea did. And it was the 4th of July, and it's an exclusive at Tomorrow's Heirloom, so you can call down there. I don't know if you get the chart or if you get the entire kit. I'm not really sure how they're doing that right now. But you'll have to get with them to get this exclusive pattern. And this is how this series started. It was introduced at this retreat. So I love my little little frayed handlebar thingies. Isn't that so cute? And Priscilla has quite a few of these bikes series now. Let's Go Ride a Bike. There's a fall one, a Halloween one, a Christmas one, a turkey one, a pumpkin one. There's a whole bunch of them. So I think there's a Valentine's one, a rose one, or something, and she's going to keep on going with the bikes. So check it out. That's the Let's Go Ride a Bike series. Okay, so then I think I just started these fall ones. These are also Priscilla's patterns. And this is a Dapper Doodad called It's Fall, Y'all. And I started this last fall, but I finished it, fully finished it. And you can see just ever so slightly that mark right there that I thought was a thread. It's whatever was on this board. I need to take like a black Sharpie and cover that up or something. But it fit. And this is Chelsea's checks on a sticky board behind there. And this is the 28 count Monaco that I dyed black. And it's on a sticky board as well. And then those are just all stuck to this board that came on this. And this came from Hobby Lobby. And I think it said like Hello Fall or something on it. And they had various colors. They had green ones, white ones, orange ones. They have them in the winter and the summer for they have this board a lot in different colors. So I love this one. This is back from the field trip as well. Let's see. Then I did this one. Now this pattern, I adjusted it a little. Sorry, Priscilla. This pattern, on the pattern, it has two houses right here. But instead, I just brought down this part of the pattern down here because I didn't want the houses on there. And I used all the called for colors, but I think I used a variegated pumpkin or fall or fragrant clothes or some kind of more variegated color for the pumpkin. This is on a navy blue, denim blue, 28 count Monaco that I dyed with padding and on a sticky board, and then there's just this fall polka dot fabric. And this is another frame from Hobby Lobby, and I think it said Land That I Love or something on it. And it just fit perfect dimensions for this, and it just stands up on a shelf in the fall. Hello, pumpkin. So that's cute. I got that one done, and it's back home from its trip. I think those are all the ones that were gone. The next one I did never went on a trip. But when all the planning was going on that I did for the retreat in Asheville, the person who organized it had never even been to a retreat. Every single thing that the people that went to the retreat experienced was 100% because of my input. She had never even been to a retreat. So I had to stitch a model because we had to make sure that the fabric that we were sending out in the kit, because of all the vendor issues, we couldn't get an even weave. So we got a 27 count Linda. So I had to quickly stitch up this model for this retreat. Because we needed to make sure that it was going to fit on the proper sizes to use a 5x7 sticky board, and then to figure out the Chelsea's check, how much to cut and what sizes to cut. Had I not done that, none of the retreat pieces would have been cut correctly. But I don't have the finishing embellishments that Priscilla had for everybody else at the retreat, but I stitched this like a month before the retreat even happened. But this is Autumn Leaves and Pumpkins Please. This was the exclusive design that you can stay tuned, and you'll be able to see this on Priscilla and Chelsea. They'll be able to sell it on their Etsy shop before too long, so keep waiting. By next fall you'll be able to do that, so just hang tight so you can get it from them at that time. So a lot of the changes I made, because I had to stitch this up so quickly, a lot of the pattern had a lot of white in here, so I just kind of kept them all the same color rather than adding the white in the leaves. So mine might look a little bit different than some of the other ones that you've seen from the retreat attendees, but it was so cute. And so I keep this up on this was the finishing piece that they got. I bought mine from Hobby Lobby. So I keep mine out. I'm going to put it out when I decorate for the fall. So stay tuned for Priscilla and Chelsea's Etsy so you can buy this pattern, because it is really cute. They worked really hard on it. Then I stitched, I think this one I got done prior to, or right after that one. This is another one of the Brenda Gervais cups. This is Witch's Brew. This is done on a 46 count Opulent by Fortnite Fabrics. And I think she turned out so cute. So I think I showed you before, this popped out. This can come right out of here if I want to put it on something else. But that is Witch's Brew by Brenda Gervais. And there's little threads all over. There you go. Okay, so then let's see what order I did all these in. I stitched another fall item, and I just fully finished this today. This is out of the Winds of Autumn. The Winds of Autumn by Blackbird Designs. And this one is a little design, and the way that they designed it, it's all monochromatic. It's all in the dark color. But I thought that the cute little thing needed some orange colors for the pumpkins and some green color for the stems. So that's how I stitched it. And it looks really wonky right now. But when I stuff the pillow, and I've got some walnut shells in the bottom to help stand it up, I put a little, there's going to be a bow on here too that matches this. But then I was looking through my stuff, and I found this rickrack that matches the floss that I used in this perfectly. So I am going to go back and I'm going to stitch this little rickrack all the way around it in that little stagey green color. Isn't that cute? So this is kind of an FFFO. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to stitch that on. Now looking at it, it looks a little shade lighter, but it might be because of the light I have going on in here. So that's almost a fully finish. Then I kept stitching away, and one of the other cross stitch camps, I did this Noel bird, and I stitched it on a 40 count Winter Wishes by Fabrics by Stephanie. I love her things. So I decided that I was going to stitch all of these on here. So far of these three, I did this one, I did the snowman, and the tree. I didn't want a red tree, so I changed this to a green tree and did a red border. So here's the snowman. And this one I stitched during the Jingle Ball. And I don't know if you guys, so many floss tubers have talked about it. If you have a chance to sign up next year, make sure you do that. It was so fun. It was $10, and you could go to all these stitchy tables. There were classes that were additional monies if you can get into those. But it was just so much fun. We just had fun at the stitchy rooms, and it was a great time. So if they do it again next year, definitely go. And there's been talk about having a prom in the spring, but I don't know if that's gonna fly. But so anyway, I stitched this during the Jingle Ball. I got this finished that Saturday night. And I did like I said, I did this also with a green tree, and this I got fully finished. So I love this sparkly kind of fabric. I got this at Joann's. So you probably can't tell. Here's the back. You probably can't tell. There you go. You can kind of see this rickrack has glitter on it too, like the fabric does. So I'm going to end up finishing there's actually 8 of these designs. I'm going to finish them all like this. So here are the other 4. And there's 8. So I have 3 down, 5 to go. I don't know if I'm going to do any more now, or if these are going to get put away until next year, or maybe in July, maybe in cross stitch camp projects again, who knows. But that's where we are on those. And I don't know if I should have done this, and I didn't realize that my walnut shells have little pieces of lavender in it. So now my pillows smell lavendery. It kind of smells kind of good. I don't know if it's acid friendly. I don't know. There's interfacing on this, so hopefully they'll be okay. Another finish I got. Now, the rest of these aren't fully finishes, but I'm done with the stitching and they're pressed and they're ready to go. So, I can't find the piece that I got, and I think I've shown you guys on a Flosstube before. I stitched this. This is a Leela Studio, and this is one of her little witches, and I was going to put this on the wooden piece that has the crows on the ravens or whatever on the top. They're wooden that you can get at Michael's, but I couldn't find the piece, and I was going to finish it today, but I got to find out what I did with that. But that one's all done, ready to go. I think that turned out so cute. I love the purple and the flowers. I think I changed and used a different DMC color of purple for that because I wanted more purple, and I think I put the same stripes in her socks that it didn't call for. And that kitty is so cute. This was stitched on a 46 count test dye fabric, also Fabrics by Stephanie. I got that at the Lansing retreat in Lansing, Michigan. And Jamie, hi Jamie, that she was stitching this pattern, and I'm like, oh, I want to stitch that. So I started that at that pattern, or at that retreat last year, and I finished it at the retreat this year. So, it's so cute. It's so tiny. So there's that finish. All along, I've stitched a bunch of Prairie Schooler Santas. So I haven't finished any of them yet, but I'm getting closer. I found some of this homespun out of my, it's been in my stash. I think it might have been my grandma's. She used to work at the old Yankee store. I don't know if any of you guys remember a Yankee store. She was in the fabric or craft area in there. And then my mom had it for a while, and I got it in my stash when my mom passed. So I don't know if I'm going to do flat fold ornaments to hang in my tree, but those are kind of big to put in the tree. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I make ornaments out of them that are like flat folds? Or should I make pillows out of it? I'm going to use this, and they're all going to be the same. And then I found this big old puffy yarn, thing of yarn, that's like chenille, that I thought would go around all of them with this. So was my plan. And this is the same chenille that I used for this pillow. So I thought I would do these all with this. What do you guys think? This is the 1984 Santa. And I got 1985 done. 1984 is when these annual Santas started. And there's 1986. 1987, and 1988. Looks like smoke's coming out his head. These are all stitched on 28 count Monaco that I tea-dyed. So I'm gonna stitch all of them in order. I'm up to 89 is when I'm gonna start next. I think I want to have, like one a month going, and, who knows? That's my plan, but we'll see. Because eventually I'd like to stitch all of them and make all of them into ornaments. But as you can see, my lovely tree, I have so many ornaments anyway. So I don't know if I'd have to get a new tree, probably. So anyway, then next, this is something that was my Christmas Day start and a finish. I didn't even have to add it to my whip list because I started it and I finished it. This is another, and I don't know if you guys know where you are. if you got part of that storm, but we got kind of snowed in. Not as much snow as they thought, but we got a lot. And I know, I think Thursday was the last day I went out, and I was snowed in till probably Monday or Tuesday, which didn't bother me. I just got my needle out and started stitching because I was snowed in. So I did this pattern, and again, the little houses down here, sorry Priscilla, but I left those off. This is on a navy blue 28 count Monaco that I dyed navy blue with the navy blue synthetic dye. It just sucks that color and it's so dark. So I'm gonna get this as close to these edges as I can, and a 4x4 I think is how it's gonna finish, and I'm gonna put it on this snowflake. I think it'll fit. It'll be close to these little dobbies that come out right here, but it'll cover all of this. So that's my snowed in by Stitching with the Housewives. Isn't that cute? It does not call for the really tealy, but I decided that it needed really tealy, so I put in the center of all the snowflakes, and I used it on the ends of the scarf, the little fringes on the ends of the scarf. And I just thought it needed really tealy. So that's that one. Then I got another finish that I tried to get fully finished, but I don't really know if this is how I want to do this or not either. But this is Be Ye Thankful by Brenda Gervais. A lot of people have been stitching this. All I had to do to finish it was the you can't really see it on this picture, but it was the off-white little colored designs, and then the little orange things that were oops, I got some, hold please. I got threads on here. You don't want to see that. There we go. All I had to do were these little flowery things on all this, all the way around, and these little off-white things. That's all I had to do to finish it. So I pulled that out last night and got it done. So I got another finish this year. Yay! So I don't know how I thought I would use this and then some of this fabric and put it all on sticky board, you know, fold it down, blah, 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 and put it on this little red thing, or orange thing. I think that's how I'm going to finish that one. But I might wait till I get the Joy and Good Cheer one and maybe finish them the same way. Who knows? Something else. If you can see these 3 ornaments right here, back when I was, I don't know, working for Lee Ward's, I stitched these, used really bad glue to glue this stuff on. So I thought, you know what, I really want to stitch these again. I want to make more and maybe try stitching them on linen so that, you know, they have a different vintagey, primitive like look. So I went on eBay and I found the Busilla kit. So I'm going to stitch them again. And I think I actually, when I worked for Lee Ward's back in the day, let me see if there's a date on here. When I worked back in the day, yeah, this is 1988. I was, my son was born in 91. So in like 89, 90 is when I worked at Lee Ward's down in Virginia Beach. My ex-husband was in the Navy, so we were stationed down there. I think I was teaching a class because somewhere in my stash, I have this one that's stitched halfway. And then one of these is not all the way done. And I think I was teaching a finishing class how to put this together back in the day. But I decided I would get the kit and I would stitch it. I'm not going to use the whatever 18 count Aida that's in here. Or 14 count ivory Aida. That's what those are stitched on too, was the kit fabric. I'm going to try stitching them on, you know, something different and see how that turns out. So I got that. That's another part of my haul. And let me show you another part real quick. And this, excuse me. This will also be the giveaway for this section of the program. So I know that a lot of you guys who watch Priscilla and Chelsea have seen this pattern. I got all the floss for it. And this is hot cocoa. I know Christmas is over, but you can still stitch it for next year. Santa's hot cocoa, no North Pole blend, and these items, this little doohickey, this mug, and this little spoon. People were having a very hard time finding them. The Santa part of it, this is from Paisleys and Polka Dots. And this is the way it comes. And then you get a, I had to buy a bottle of Mod Podge. I haven't had that in a long time. Haven't decoupaged anything in a while. But in this little kit that they send you, that's all cut, it has the sample of how you're supposed to finish it. But it gives you all these little things that you just cut out and place them where they say to place them with, like there's the little holly that's going to go up on the hat. There's the mustache and the face. Isn't that cool? Here's the mittens that you put on the mittens. And there's more in here that has, like these are his arms. And you just cut out around there and Mod Podge it on. Shows you exactly step by step how to do it. And so when it ends up, when you're all done, you put it all together like here. Okay, so a lot of people are having a hard time finding these things at Hobby Lobby. So guess what? I found this one. I found this one. And this was in the ornament section. So I have that. So at that quarter shop, they had some really good deals going on. When I ordered this pattern, they said, oh, wait, do you need this? So I bought the finishing fabric that is also in this project. And they're like, oh, but wait, you need Priscilla and Chelsea's ribbon. So I got the ribbon as well. So I have everything I need to stitch that up over the year, make that, and I can have that for next Christmas all put together. But I know a lot of you were having a hard time finding those pieces to be able to put yours together. So guess what? For my giveaway for this video, I'm not going to do project bags. I know I give away project bags at every single video, but this one I'm not gonna. I will pull the winners. I'm going to do a whip parade probably on the 1st. If I'm not sleeping, I don't know. But I'm going to give away, there's 2 project bags that are still inactive because I haven't pulled for those yet. So go check out that last video that I did. And there's 2 project bags up for grabs. But for this video, if anybody is stitching this or they want to stitch this for next year, I have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 sets of these 2 pieces. I could not find the spoon anywhere, but I have 4 sets of these pieces. Okay? Anybody who wants to stitch this, put hot cocoa in your comment below. Hot cocoa. And I'll pick 4 winners and I'll mail them to you. How's that? It's going to be fun, and you know, you're going to have all year to stitch it and put it together. Maybe you can do Christmas in July and get it done, and then you can put it out as soon as you get your Christmas stuff out right after Halloween or Thanksgiving or whenever you decorate. So, hot cocoa, I got 4 sets. Okay. Let me clear this off. Bear with me just a moment. And then, here comes what we're going to do tomorrow for New Year's Eve. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm going to show you those in a minute. That's other things I'm going to show you. But let's get my 12 by 12 in this wonderful picnic basket. And here's all my projects and all the tags. I wrote a number on each one. The project, what it's stitched on, the number, and I put a picture from my sprocket on each one of these bags. Most of them are in these black zippy bags that you get on Amazon that look like this. I have all 12 of them in there, except for one of them wouldn't fit, and I didn't want to take it out of its project bag. And the other one, I have a project bag shoved in the project bag. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you my 12 by 12. But first, you ask, what is 12 by 12? Well, let me tell you. A couple years, Kia B, and I will, if I can remember, I'll put it down below. If not, go check her out. Kia, K-A-E-B-E-E Quilting, Kia B Quilting. And Pam and Stephanie from Just Keep Stitching, they both gave really good explanation of this on their not too recent videos. I mean, it was, I think, I don't know the numbers, but they talk all about what the 12 by 12 is and how it started. I think it was a way that Kia was trying to get some new starts that she was doing. And then, not this year, but last year when Pam and Steph go down to Kia's for Thanksgiving, Pam decided, hey, that's a good idea, I'm going to do it with you. So they did it last year. And what it is, it's New Year's Eve 12x12, 12 by 12, hashtag. I got it down here. What did I do? My thing's at the bottom. Whoa. Oh, please. We just had timber. Okay, so let me show you the hashtag again. Hashtag NYE12x12. Not 12 by, but 12x12. Hashtag NYE12x12. Okay, so what it is starting at noon on New Year's Eve day, which is in 12 hours. It's now midnight. So in 12 hours, we're going to start this. And what you do this year, Pam decided she didn't want to do 12 starts, so she's team whips. Okay, Kia's still going to do 12 new starts, so she's team new starts. Hashtag team new start. Hashtag team whips. Stephanie decided she was going to do half and half because she wants to work on some of her whips and she wants to have some new starts. So she's going to do half and half. Well, I decided, I don't know if you guys remember me doing this last year. And last year at this time, my brother had COVID and he was in the hospital in Lansing. And my dad had to stay at my house and we were quarantined over Christmas. So I did it. But my dad was here and he was snoring away behind me. And I ended up falling asleep at about 7 o'clock. So I didn't get all my starts started. So of the ones that I did start, what I'm going to do this year is, if I haven't finished that I started last year in last year's 12 by 12, I'm doing it this year. I'm going to whip on that. Whip some stitches into that whip. So I have 5 of those. I'm going to do 7 new starts. So it's not half and half. I'm going to do 5 and 7 new starts. So if you guys want to jump right in with me, I'm going to go through what I'm going to be stitching. Okay? So number 1. This is not a new start. This is a whip from last year. I started this one in 12 by 12 last year, and I love it. I put this in one of my project bags in the black Amazon bag. This is a coffee bag that I made. Here's some cute little, my angel charm, and then some more charms that I got from people that have little coffee cups on it. But this is one of my project bags with one of my older tags on it. But this is Coffee Quaker. And this is by Heartstring Samplery, called Coffee Quaker, the Magical Elixir Series Part 2. I love this. Janet Jabber, she's got her finish up behind her when she films her Flosstube. So I'm really looking forward to getting done. This is how far I am on it. I think it was one of my WhipGo calls earlier in the year when I was doing really good on WhipGo. So I had a good chunk of time on that, not just when I started it during the 12 by 12 last year. So hopefully I'll make some progress in the hour that I'm using to stitch on that. And this is being stitched on a 36 count toasted almond by Fabrics by Stephanie. And I believe I got this fabric at the Lansing, Michigan retreat because she's one of the wonderful fabric vendors at the Michigan retreat all the time. So I can't wait till the next retreat so I can buy some more fabric from her because I love her fabric. So that is number 1. And I'm going to put this back here so my little tag will show. Okay, number 2. Are we having fun yet? Number 2. This is the Snowman Trio, Stitching with the Housewives. And this is a new start. So this is also going to be stitched on the navy blue 28 count Monaco that I dyed, and you can tell I didn't trim off the fabric at the ends, with all of the called for classic colorwork colors. I know that orange really pops out, but I don't use it very much. You'll see in just a second. There's my color palette, and here is the pattern. Snowman Trio. This is on the little wood grain car that I told you about. So I can't wait to get this one done. And this is project number 2 in my New Year's Eve 12 by 12. Are you guys having fun? This is fun. If you don't have it out, hopefully this will be uploaded and out before noon so you can grab some projects and jump in with us. Okay, so that's number 2. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is a new start. I just got this one. It was back ordered for a while, and it took a long time to get here. This is going to be stitched on a 40 count sand Newcastle linen by Picture This Plus, with the called for colors, I believe. There's the fabric and it's kind of blowing it out. The fabric and the colors. And this is Cardinal Kin by Plum Street Samplers. A lot of people have been stitching this, but you know, it's not just a Christmas stitch. I'm hoping to be able to not just start it during my 12 by 12, but I want to keep working on it and get it finished because, you know, they say when you see loved one or cardinals, it's from your loved ones who have passed. And yeah, I've been seeing a lot of cardinals lately. I think my mom's trying to tell me something. So, and also, by the way, thank you guys so much for all of those of you who have reached out, who have commented on my Instagram and my Facebook posts about my dad. I'm doing these videos kind of to get my mind on something else because he's not doing really well. He's really struggling to breathe. They had to intubate him again. They're going to do the tracheotomy and a feeding tube so that he can build his strength back up. Normally you and I, if we have some secretions or whatever, we can cough or spit it up or, you know, do something, clear our throat. Well, he's so weak that he can't do that, and he chokes on his own stuff. So yeah, it's not good. He was at home. He had been really sick, but he was just getting better. And he was in his chair, and my brother lives with him and said, if you need anything, let me know. Don't get up, because he had been sick. He was just recuperating. Well, he's the most stubborn man on the face of the earth. Bless his heart. He decided he's going to get up anyway, and his blood pressure dropped, lost his balance. He had a walker, but he lost his balance and fell backwards and hit his head on a wall unit, and it snapped and it broke some of the bones in his spine. So he had to have a fusion again, and he's already had so many problems. Plus he bit the end of his tongue, so there was blood all over the place, and it freaked my brother out. So that was on a Friday night. They ended up going by ambulance to the hospital in Lansing. Lansing said, "Ooh, we need a neurologist. This is serious." They were going to send him to Flint, which is an hour that way. And they said, nope, we don't have one of those medical professionals there. We're going to send him to Henry Ford, which is an hour and a half towards Detroit. So, or in Detroit. So that's where he is. And my brother, he's legally blind. So he was able to get a guest apartment that's right there across the parking lot. Not even a parking lot, it's the helicopter pad from the hospital. So he can walk. He's got limited vision. It's like tunnel vision in one eye. So he can get around. But he's staying right there and keeping an eye and making sure and keeping us updated so that we're not all going down there and, you know, sitting in the hospital forever. But it's no fun. As any one of you guys who know that, you know, having aging parents, it's hard. It's really hard. So anyway, I'm trying to do this to keep my mind off of that. But thank you for all of those of you who are, you know, keeping my dad in your prayers. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So back to my 12 by 12. This is number 12, or number 4. This is number 4. It's Peter and Pete by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This is also a new start. And I have some beautiful colors that I'm going to use. And I'm going to stitch it, believe it or not, on this 46 count ivory Bristol linen. And it's the linen from Hobby Lobby. And I've stitched on it before, and I love it. There's nothing wrong with this linen. Yes, it's from Hobby Lobby. Yes, it's not an overdyed. Yes, it's not, I don't think it's Swigert base. But I've stitched other things on it before. I'm not going to show you that finish because I don't really care for that designer. But anyway, yes, so I'm going to stitch it on that, and let me show you what it is. This is really cute. In this picture, a lot of Brenda Gervais patterns, the pictures don't do it justice. I saw this model stitched, I don't know who stitched it, but Janine from the Crafty U had the model at the Steel City Stitchers Retreat in her pop-up shop. And her model of this was absolutely gorgeous. And it was huge. It's very deceiving. It's a lot bigger than you think it is. But anyway, I'm going to stitch that on that 46 count ivory linen. And it's Peter and Peep. So I'm really excited to get going on that and have a start for my Easter stitching and spring stitching. So that was number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 3. I gotta make sure these are in order so I don't get them in the wrong order and get all confused. Okay, this is a start that I started last year in our 12x12. And this is another Stitching with the Housewives. It seems like, I don't know why, I've got a lot of Brenda Gervais and Stitching with the Housewives in my 12x12. Maybe because I like those two. They're totally different kind of designer, totally different look. But it is what it is. I like what I like. So this is Jar of Roses. Again, getting ready for Valentine's Day. I started this last year in the 12x12, and I don't think I've touched it since. But I have all the pretty floss. And I'm stitching it on the same fabric that I use for my Ho Ho Ho. This is the 28 count Monaco that I dyed in the Tropical Teal. This is making it look really blue, but it's more of a teal color. It's got more of a, it's just showing too blue in here, but it's more of a blue-green color. But this is how far I got in the hour that I stitched before I fell asleep last New Year's Eve. So I'm going to stitch this one, and hopefully I'll make some more progress on that. And we can get that done by Valentine's Day. Who knows? So that's project number 5. Okay. Number 6. Oh, this is good. Number 6 is the Red Sampler Pin Cushion, also by Brenda Gervais, with Thy Needle and Thread. So I am going to stitch this. This is Keeper of the Pins. This came out at Market last year. And I do believe I'm going to just start out by doing this one. Try not to show you the pattern. This one. I figure if I really bust it out, I can get it done in an hour, right? Maybe not. But I decided I'm going to stitch all of these because there's so many pretty ones that I need to pull out all my vintage tomatoes and get them in my vintage dough bowl. I'm going to stitch all of these eventually. So I am going to use, this is one pattern or fabric that I won for a giveaway for Whip Go interaction in a Happy Little Stitch Shop. And this is a 40 count Dunes at Dusk Fat Quarter by Legacy Fiber Arts and the Happy Little Stitch Shop. So I'm going to use this fabric and I'm going to stitch all of them on this. So this is a fat quarter of this fabric. So I'm going to stitch all of them on it. I think that will work out. Because I think she uses vintage country mocha and I don't like that. Because I struggle with the white. Hopefully this white will show up on this. I just struggle. I know other people do too. Sorry, I didn't mean to look so aggressive, but do you guys have a hard time with white showing up? Somebody sent me some Aurifloss to try, which I'll tell you about Aurifloss in just a minute. Somebody sent me a spool of that, and I've tried Sulky. I like stitching with Sulky because it's a little bit thicker. Sometimes 2 strands of the white is too much. It's too bulky and your stitches don't lay right. So I like using Sulky. When I fight now with a white showing up, I'll grab a Sulky and that'll work usually. Okay, so that was number 6, Red Sampler Pin Cushion. Now, speaking of Aurifloss, and this one isn't in a black bag. This is in a Lori Holt project bag that I put together using the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch method, not the method that Lori Holt shows to stitch her project bag panels, because her seams are open. She's finished them, but they're not fully hidden. And so if you do the project bags the way Elizabeth Ann has in her tutorial, you don't see those seams. They're all hidden. And my zipper is stuck on my fabric. So I pulled out, whoopsie, I pulled out, see how the seams are hidden in there? You don't see the seam. On the one, the way Lori did it, the seams are stitched, so they're not gonna fray, but you can see where the seams are. So I use the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch method, which I use for all the project bags, fabric project bags that I make. I use her method that she showed. And so I stitch using the panels, that method. So anyway, I dropped one of the sulky threads and I'm about to tip my tree over, so bear with me, people, or I'll get it later. Anyway, this is a restart. Not restart, but I'm going to take out what I stitched because Fat Quarter Shop had wonderful sales, Black Friday sales. So I went on there and found that they had this Prim Aurifloss 50% off. So I have been wanting to stitch the whole Prim Stitch series, the whole thing. I'm going to stitch it all on one. This is a 46 count colonial parchment. This was my super duper little start that I had last year. But I'm going to pull that out because I'm going to stitch it with Aurifloss. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to take me forever. I also pulled out, I'm going to stitch it all on one. So I printed out from Lori's, I think it's on her website, Bee in My Bonnet. Or no, it's from Lori Holt's blog, www.beeinmybonnetcompanyblogspot.com. And that's where you can get the border layout if you want to do the Prim Stitch series all in one. And you guys have seen these. These were out when I first got back into stitching. A lot of people, the Fat Quarter Shop had this stitch was going on. Everybody was doing it. And I'm just late to the party, but that's okay. I love that with the little church. There's 12 different blocks. And there's one more. I love this one. Reminds me of Teresa Kogut's new logo. Love it. So anyway, that is project number 7 of 12 for my 12 by 12. I know I won't get much done on that. Hopefully I won't fall asleep and miss it. So that is number 7. So where are we at? Number 8. Let's see. 6, 8. Let me put these in the right spot. Oopsie. Okay, so here's number 8. And this is also a new start. And this is the one I mentioned earlier that I am maybe going to finish like the other one. So many people are doing this. And this is Joy and Good Cheer. And it's very, very similar to this. How it's set up. I don't know if this is going to be a series, if there'll be one in the spring that she puts out, or a summer one. Wouldn't that be cool? Or an Easter one. They're so cute. So this one I'm going to stitch on, I think this is a 40 count Winter Wishes Fabrics by Stephanie is what I'm going to stitch mine on. And I got all the called for flosses in this hot little mess. But that's okay, because it's going in this little project bag. Oops, I forgot one of these flosses. Okay, So that is Joy and Good Cheer, number 8 of 12 for my New Year's Eve 12 by 12. So it's going to start at noon. And we're going to stitch every hour on the hour. I know some people, some of you moms out there have to stop and feed your family and take a break because you got to feed your kids or whatever. That's when I say maybe let grandma have some grandma duty or dad have dad duty. Just sit and stitch. Okay. That was number 8. So number 9. This is a whip from last year. And this one I'm getting so close. I think I had this one of these for a whip go, I think this was called. And this is Brenda Gervais, again with the Brenda Gervais. Souvenirs of the Heart, Star Spangled Spectacular. That's what it looks like. And this is how much I have done. This is stitched on a 40 count Beach Brew by R&R Reproductions. That's a cool flags on the 4th. So I have all the floss pulled for this still that I had in here since last year. So I'll be happy to get that going and hopefully get that done and have a finish this year before the 4th of July. That'll be nice. Right? So that was number 9. We're number 10. We're getting closer, guys. Girls, peoples, friends, stitchy peeps. Okay, here's number 10. Again, with the Brenda Gervais. Telling you. I got a theme going on here I didn't realize I had. This is a 36 count Wren, which happens to be the called for colors for this, or called for fabric. Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know? This is called Bluebird Out My Window. Again, with a picture that's not a very good picture. It's kind of dark. But look at that little bluebird. This gives me the spring vibes, summer vibes. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. On my 36 count Wren, it's going to be so pretty. It's going to look way better than this picture, I think. Don't you guys think? It's going to look so much better than that. It's so much more vibrant. So, I think Brenda Gervais needs a new... I mean, she sells enough patterns anyway. Her patterns are wonderful, but I think she needs a new photographer or better lighting or something. I don't know. Okay, so that was number 10. Yes, number 10. So here we go, number 11. This is my 5th whip of the evening, of the day. This will be my start or whip that I'm going to do, number 11. And this is, if I can get the first one out. This I'm also stitching the entire thing as one. And it's Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks. Farmhouse Christmas. And I have all of them. There's 9 of them. That's the pattern to do the border all the way around. So here's my itty bitty little start. Again with the white, I was struggling. I don't know what's what. I did 3 different whites, so I'm gonna dig that out. Start over with the whites again. Figure out which one I had. I think I like this one down here. One of them's sulky, I think. But this is being stitched on a 40 count piece of mallow, M-A-L-L-O-W, and it's from No, wait a minute. That's not what that is. Yes, it is. This is mallow. I got from 123 Stitch. Not to be confused with mellow. That's Picture This Plus. This is mallow, M-A-L-L-O-W, that you get from 123 Stitch. I think it's a 40 count even weave, not linen. It stitches up so nicely. So nice. I love working on it. So that is number 11. I don't think I'm going to get this done this year, but hey, we can just plug away. And here is number 12. Yet again, stitching with the housewives. Wanted to get my snowman on, work groove on. So this is a Dapper Doodad called Let It Snow. Isn't that cute? Beautiful blues. I don't have all the colors pulled because a lot of the colors that I need are in the project before, along with the blue Monaco that I need too. So I don't even have my fabric in this bag. But that's number 12. It's going to be on the navy blue Monaco just like the other one. So all my wintry snowman type scenes for my stitching with the housewives wintry patterns, they're all going to be on this navy blue Monaco. And that white just pops off of that. I don't need to use any special white. This is Bamboo by Classic Colorworks. Pops right off of there. So all of those other ones, they'll all be stitched on this navy blue Monaco that I tied. So that is my 12 by 12. Are you guys excited? I'm excited. I hope you're going to join us. Keep track or watch my Instagram, because as I'm stitching this and to keep my mind off of other things going on in my life with my dad and, you know, all the other drama, I may pop out there and say, hey, I got a Zoom open, come Zoom with me. If anybody is stitching 12 by 12, and Kia B and Pam will be going live at certain times throughout the event. I think they're going to go right when they start, maybe around 4, maybe around 8, maybe, don't quote me on these times. You'll have to go and check out Kia B's video and Pam and Steph's Just Keep Stitching. But they're going to go at random times. They're going to be live on their Instagram. So I was thinking of maybe putting a Zoom invite out there. So stay tuned to your Instagram. If you see me posting it, let me know in the comments below if you want me to tag you or holler at you, or if you want to stitch in a Zoom. I might open it up in the afternoon sometime tomorrow afternoon. Well, actually, it's New Year's Eve right now, so today in the afternoon. So before I close, I want to talk about Whip Go real quick. First of all, here is my New Year, New Start. Okay, because y'all have to have a New Year, New Start. Oh, there's something else I got to tell you guys about. How could I forget? If you don't follow Jessica the Sweetwater Stitcher, go follow her. And Alicia the Fanciful Flamingo, follow her too. I'm going to try to remember to tag them below. Go follow them and join our face group. There's a bunch of us that are in there, and it's called SYS 2023. It's Stitch Your Stash. And what we're going to try to do, what they're planning, and we're all participating, is there are going to be kind of prompts or suggestions or things to kind of get us focused on stitching, not just our whips, but what we have in our stash. Yeah, you can start something new, but don't go run out and buy a brand new pattern, all the fabric, all the floss for each of these when you've got a stash. So a lot of people, I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy anything all year, because we all know markets in March. There's going to be a lot of really cool patterns. Everybody's going to want to run out and get the best and the brightest, whatever. All the little pretty shiny things. But the whole goal and the whole purpose of this Stitch Your Stash is to stitch your stash. Instead of running out and getting all the floss that you need, see how many other skeins of floss you've got in some of your other project bags. And, you know, stitch out of your stash. Maybe change a different shade of color if you don't have the particular one they asked for. Maybe you can substitute one that is in your stash. Or buy your fabric. Stitch, you know, swap out a fabric. Whatever. So, go follow them and join us for Stitch Your Stash in 2023. But my new start is going to be on a 46 Toasted Almond. Again, by Fabrics by Stephanie. I love her fabric. I just love it. I love Winter Wishes. I love Toasted Almond. And I love Colonial Parchment. Those are my favorites of hers. They're so soft. They're so wonderful. So, that's the fabric that I'm using. And look at all of these absolutely gorgeous flosses. Let me get them all. A couple more. Look at all these gorgeous flosses. Aren't they gorgeous? Do you want to know what all this yumminess is going to be? You guys have probably seen it before, but Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais. Again, with the Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And I don't know if you saw Lisa. Oh, now the name of your channel escapes me. Kindred Stitcher? No. Yes. Her finish of this, oh my god, it's so pretty. I cannot wait to get these beautiful colors going. Look at those colors. Those birds. Oh. So pretty. So anyway, that's my New Year, New Start. I'm going to start that on January 1st. As soon as I get up from resting from my Stitch Your 12x12. That fabric was in my stash. Most of the colors were in my stash. Here's one of my project bags that I made using Teresa Kogut's Stitchy Bird fabric. My little logo. Got lots more of these to make. I got a couple more orders I gotta get out. So, Whip Go. Last year, I was doing really well when I was doing my Whip Go, and I was using my calendar, and I was doing so well with my monthly whips. Here's an example. I put the two that were called, and I'd make my little X's, and I'd write down, and when I'd film my Flosstube and all the starts and finishes. But as we got further and further and further into the months, I just, no, it didn't work. I kind of fizzled out because I was finding, and here's what my problem was. I was finding that when I did my Whip Go board, I had a specific project, and I think it was in May-ish. There was also Mania that I was doing, and I had 21 starts. So I was working on ones that weren't finished before I would start new ones. So I had all... In May, the two projects that were called were Christmas projects. And I was not feeling Christmas in May. So I kind of fell off and then didn't really... kind of half-heartedly tried to catch up and do it in the rest of the year. So Vicky, the Virginia Stitcher, hi Vicky, if you watch my Flosstube, hi. She had a really good idea, so I kind of adapted something that she said on her Flosstube, and it was to be more generic with what you're picking. Even though your goal might be 10 hours on a project or working on it for 10 days, don't limit yourself to a specific project. So I took her idea and I kind of ran with it. So what I'm going to do is on my days, I've got one is pick a sampler, pick a Blackbird, pick a Plum Street sampler, stitch an ornament, stitch a spring design, a small or an ornament, pick a Prairie Schooler, pick a Teresa Kogut. And then I've even got 2 times on here, I have decision wheel. So I might take, 5 or 6 projects and put it on a decision wheel and spin it. And then whatever comes up, that's what I stitch. My board, my rule. Maybe I won't. I don't know. It's the first time I'm going to try that. But I thought this way, I get to pick. I'm not, instead of saying, okay, Teresa Kogut's Christmas pattern that I got to stitch in March, I can pick any Teresa Kogut. So for my January, the numbers that were picked were 6 and 10. Okay? 6 and 10. So my number 6 is pick a Teresa Kogut. So what I'm going to pick is, if you are in Teresa Kogut's Patreon, then you know all about, if you're tier 4, she has the Strawberry Manor Sal. It's all the way out. The mystery's over. It's all released now. And I think she's going to release this to the public, I think in Nashville, maybe, at Market. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what she said. So I started this. I didn't get very far. And I don't think you can see it, but there is the biggest slub in here. And it's a linen. It was a 40s. I don't even know what kind of. Oh, it's Bramble. 40 count Bramble by Pitch of This Plus. But there was a huge slub right in here. I can't not see it. After I see it, it just bugged me and bugged me. So I tried to pick out the slub, and I pulled a whole thread and cut a whole thread. So I might restart this thing. It calls for a darker fabric anyway than what this is. This was more light. This is Bramble by Pitch of This Plus. So I am going to stitch it now on a 40 count Heartland Newcastle linen by Pitch of This Plus. So I'm restarting it on this. I think that looks more like what she stitched hers on. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my Whip Go. One of them for January is a Pick a Teresa Kogut pattern. So this is my strawberry project bag that I made for this particular Sal. And inside I have one of my wonderful flannel floss friends that have the snaps. Open it up. Isn't that cute? Looks like a little picnic. Strawberries on the outside. Here's the beautiful, gorgeous colors of that sampler. Aren't they gorgeous? I think that's going to look so pretty on that Heartland. Let me pull it out again. I think this floss is going to look so pretty on that. Oh, look at that. So pretty. So anyway, that's that. And I can't wait to get going on that. Okay, my second Whip Go pull was pick a winter design. It's block number 10. Pick a winter design. So what better whip? Oh, this is in one of my Snowman project bags with the little snowflakes on the inside. So what better, and here's my flannel floss friend for this project with the beautiful fabrics that threads that I've had in here for so long. But what better whip to stitch than this one that I've had going forever and ever and ever. Let me pull this out of the, I put my, oops, I'm showing you the pattern. I use sheet protectors. I shoved the pattern down in with sheet protector to cover them up, so I protect it a little bit. But Winter Rose Manor. It's been a while. What better winter project than Winter Rose Manor to stitch when it said to pick a winter chart? So this works perfectly. So I'm hoping to get a lot of progress. Now remember, I started this. This was one of the very first sampler type projects that I started when I got back into stitching in November of 2020. I started this. The only way I knew how was to fold the fabric in half and then in half and start in the middle. Now I know I don't do that. Now I know you start in the upper left or wherever, because I started in the middle and I'm wasting all of this fabric. This is the 40 count Brenda's Brew called for fabric. And I'm going to be wasting quite a bit. Maybe I can get some smalls out of it, I think. Because I'll have this much twice. So anyway, any whoozy whatsy, as Pam would say. This is what I got done. Sorry for the wrinkles because I didn't iron it. I'm not using the called for colors. The white did not show up. So, as you know, it was roasted marshmallow and mine was yellow. So I swapped that out for toasted marshmallow. The color that the house was supposed to be is a conch, like a conch shell. Was supposed to be pink, but mine looks tan. So I'm doing my house in Meredith Pink by Weeks Dye Works, which you can't see the difference there, but you can there. See the difference? This is conch and this is too yellow to me. So I'm using Meredith Pink by Weeks Dye Works. And look at how white the toasted marshmallow rather than roasted. My roasted was like yellow, no white at all. So anyway, that's what I'm using. So here I am, and I got just a teeny tiny start on that white or that pink house, pinkish house. So I got a lot more house and some cardinals to do. So this is Winter Rose Manor, and I'm going to get back on it because I haven't stitched on it in a while. So, anybody else still stitching this? I know a lot of people also, and you know what? I think I mentioned this before. When I first started stitching, I had never used linen. I had never used this count, 40 count. This is my first 40 count. And I was trying to do too much or something, and that roof looks rough. Full disclosure, my roof looks like a hot mess. The stitches are not laying pretty. There you can see it. So I thought about starting this over, ripping it out, but you know what? I'm not. Because I'm going to see that roof, and I'm going to remember, wow, I've really come a long way since I started this roof. Plus, I could just say, whoa, the people that live in that house need to get a new roof. Maybe it's an old house. It's an old Winter Rose Manor. It's an old house. Maybe I should make it, you know, not so pretty on the pink part. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to go with it. So, I got the border all done. The border came perfectly, matched up perfectly. I got my little fence all done. That was kind of fun. So I'm excited to get some more work done in this because I haven't stitched on it in a while and I need to get back to it because I love it. It's beautiful. I have a beautiful frame that I got from Hobby Lobby that Lori Holt finished hers in. It's so gorgeous. It has like the white scallops all the way around it on the inside. but I think that called for the 36 count. And since I'm doing 40, it's going to be a little bit smaller. So I might have to take it to like Hobby Lobby or somewhere and maybe have them cut me, like a mat that's in one of these burgundy colors that will then go inside that frame. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I get it stitched. I got a lot of stitching to do before that happens. So that is my Winter Rose Manor, which is my whip go call for number 10. And it is my winter stitch. And let me put that sheet protector in there and close up. Here's my flannel floss friend with my little snowman and the flannel. So I keep my threads all organized and protected inside this little do job thing here, flannel floss friend. So those are all in there, ready to go for my January whip go. Okay. I don't think I have anything else. Remember, friends, hashtag NYE12x12. Hopefully you'll join me in a few hours because it's almost 1 o'clock. So I'm going to get this edited as quickly as I can and get it posted. It was great being back talking to you guys again. Again, comment below if you want me to open up a Zoom during the 12 by 12. Let me know if you are interested in those parts for the hot cocoa. If you want those, put hot cocoa in your comment and I will draw 4 winners and ship those out to you. I still got some winners who haven't claimed their prize from my 1-year Flossiversary that I'm going to go over those and draw the 2 project bags from my previous Flosstube. I'm going to do that in my whip parade that I'm going to film probably tomorrow because, you guys, I had no idea. Last year when I did this, I had 55 whips, okay? Last weekend, I categorized all of my, because for some reason I couldn't find the Excel file that I had, that I typed it all up. I think it's in my old computer that I let my son use, so who knows if I'll ever see that file again. So I retyped everything. All my whips. All my whips. Including, if I include the 7 new ones that I'm starting in the 12 by 12, plus my January start, plus I started another Valentine's one that's a small that I just felt like stitching that earlier today. I was done with Christmas. I'm done with, you know, I just felt like, so I didn't add that. So if I count that, here's how many I have, guys. Can you see that number? Is it focusing? Let me get my face out of there. Can you see that? I have 82 whips. 82 whips! I have 82 whips, guys. I have 82 whips. 82. We're going to get going on these whips, okay? We're going to get going on some whips. I need to get my stitching mojo back because, and I still will be finishing up some project bag orders. People emailing me still. I've got all the project bags I got to make for the Steel City Stitchers retreat. So I'm going to try, and I've been doing it quite a bit. When I work, I get up in the morning before I have to work at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to start trying to get at least an hour every morning of something. And then at lunchtime, they force me to work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I get an hour lunch. So I'm going to start taking an hour lunch. I'm going to set a timer for 59 minutes. I'm going to walk from my desk that's in the office area, which is what the dining room should be. I have my dining room in the great room. My living room is on the other side. So when I go in my office, that's my office. when I leave my office at lunchtime, I'm going to come in here. My lazy boy is right over on the other side of this table. And I'm going to set a timer for 59 minutes, and I'm going to stitch during my lunch, period. I have to. So that's at least 2 hours a day. I'll get something in. Then, usually the weeknights, it's kind of hard to do a lot of sewing. Maybe I'll go up and cut a bunch out, but it's hard to get the rhythm and get to bed at a respectable time. But then my weekends, I'm going to have to be doing a lot of sewing on the weekends. So hopefully during the week I can get some stitching done, because I got 82 whips. Did I tell you? I have 82 whips. So with that being said, my stitchy peeps, my whip parade is going to be long. I may go, I don't know. If you guys want to see all of my whips, put it in the comments below. Or do you only want to see the ones I've worked on this past year? Because I think I figured that would be more like 50-ish. But you want to see all of them because there's so many of the new subscribers. And by the way, welcome. If you're new to my channel since I made a Flosstube, welcome. I'm sorry. I'm doing that in my closing statement. I'm saying welcome. I should have welcomed you when you first came in the door. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you. Thank you for clicking. Hopefully, if you like what you see, if you want to follow me, I'm stitching _with_Grammy on Instagram. I also, if you like it, please hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I'm not real big into numbers, but you know, it's kind of cool to see your numbers go up. It's kind of cool. I'm not obsessed with it like some people are. It doesn't hurt my feelings if my numbers go down, but some people don't like that. I just really thank you guys who have stood by me, even though I don't post regular, do Flosstubes regularly. I want to start doing more because I want to bring you more, and I want to, maybe do some tutorials, maybe do some stitch-alongs, do some Zooms. Another little update. I am still in the process. I'm getting my LLC. Kelly, hey, how you doing? I need to get my numbers, and I need to get everything in place to get my business going. I'm going to start doing some designing, and I'm also going to be doing the Great Lakes Stitchers gatherings, which are going to be retreats that are going to be primarily in the Michigan area. Maybe not directly in Michigan. Maybe we'll go down to Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, I don't know, wherever. But it'll be the Great Lakes Stitchers gatherings. I've got a few dates that I'm looking at. I know that Artie the Vintage Stitcher up in the UP is also doing a retreat. So I don't want to do it too close to her retreat in the UP because I want to go up to her retreat. If you guys get a chance to go, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is beautiful. I think her retreat is the first weekend in May, so it won't be really hot out. It won't be warm. Sometimes they've still had some snow lingering in the upper area, but I think it'll be fine. But she's really excited about that. So if you guys don't know Artie the Vintage Stitcher, go check her out as well. But that, I can't wait to get some more information about that retreat. But mine will be later on in the summertime, I think. I got a class reunion that I'm also planning or helping plan, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So it might not be until early fall, maybe. I don't know. But I'll stay tuned because I definitely am going to put it out there, and I want you guys to come. And like I said, this is my hobby. This is not how I pay my mortgage. I am not going to do a retreat for anyone to line my pockets financially, to financially gain off of doing a retreat. That's not what I'm doing. When I do a retreat, it's because I want my stitchy peeps to come and stitch with me and gather and have fun and fellowship and games and a good time. That's why I want to do a retreat. I'm not interested in making money off of everybody. So my retreats are not going to be that much money like some people are charging. They don't have to cost that much. So excuse me while I drink water out of my iced tea bottle. If you guys are still hanging out with me, thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers for my dad. And stay tuned because Flosstube number 15 will be coming very soon, and it will be my whip parade. And so put down in the comments if you want to see all of my whips or just the ones I've actually put stitches in this year. I think I want to do all of them, but tell me if you want me not to waste everybody's time, because I think this year what I'm going to do is then have this as to take pictures so that next year when I do my whip parade, if it's not done, I can show where I was at this one on the next one. So I don't know if I did that on my last whip parade. I don't know. So I'm going to do these in the order of my oldest to the newest. So it should be fun. The older ones, some of them I've touched, some of them I haven't, and it'll go pretty quick. So some of them are getting close to a finish. Some of them, why am I even bothering? Some of them I was in a Zoom room with Alicia, the Fanciful Flamingo, and there was a couple other people in there. As I was cataloging, they were all stitching on stuff, and I was cataloging all of my whips. And I was showing them some of them. And there's some projects that I'm going to show you that I might say, okay, this is all I'm stitching on this, and make it into a smaller pattern. Or, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep all of my 81 stitches. Most of them I am. But some of them I might be saying, I don't need to do this. I don't want to do this. So, we'll see. But, again, thank you. What you see is what you get. I am 100% authentically honest. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'm not going to pretend to be somebody I'm not. And I'm not going to lie to you. And there are other people who do. And there are other people who lie about people. Those kind of people I don't need in my life. I don't know about you guys. But I am thankful for your support and, you know, the people who have reached out to me. I'm okay. I will be okay. It's a new day. New year, new me, new mindset. Not going to let anybody take advantage of me and use me like that again. It's not happening. Not happening. So, until next time, which is in a couple days, have fun. Get your stitch on. Go meet and stitch. Let me know if you want me to do a Zoom for the 12 by 12. Let me know if you, just give me your comments. I like to hear hot talk or hot cocoa if you want some of those giveaways. So, thank you guys. I'll see you again very soon in the whip parade. Bye.